Oh, I need to be careful here. I can't just play it. I'm gonna react to it. So yeah. Yes. So obviously this is Illfonic and um, Gun Media's new game, which I think is pretty certain it's gonna flop. This trailer, I don't think. I think people. I don't know why they're glazing it and saying, "Oh, I can't wait to play." This looks really dog shit in my opinion. I don't know. Um. Anyway, let me play it again.
Multiplayer in Halloween is a 1v4
Oh,
asymmetrical horror
what's this?
experience that pits the residents of Haddonfield against the shape of pure evil,
Again,
Michael
hopefully you can
Myers.
hear it.
In this quintessential slasher simulator, our playable cast of civilian characters desperately attempt.
See, look how dumb that animation is. We're in 2026. Come on, that's ridiculous. But we'll talk about the animation stuff in a second.
To save their neighbors and themselves from the omnipresent boogeyman, while Michael.
To that, actually, I don't think that one looked bad. Maybe it's some characters that have worse animations than others. I don't think that one looked too bad.
Fixates on stalking
Uh,
and slaying his targets. Halloween provides familiar elements fans of the genre know and love, but we're incredibly excited to pull back the curtain and unveil more details that demonstrate our commitment to delivering our most robust, dynamic, and terrifying multiplayer offering yet. Michael Myers is a creeping, methodical killer, and on Halloween night, Haddonfield becomes his hunting ground. The boogeyman's primary desire is to eliminate every living resident in this quiet town, but he also begins each match with a list of special targets that supply greater rewards if killed before time expires.
Obsessions, right?
These unfortunate
I made a
residents are
basement off
positioned across
DVD.
various sites in the map, and Michael players are empowered to use their nightmare suite of abilities to locate, terrorize.
See, this is the issue I have. This is well one of the issues I have with all of these games is that this like the main ethos is oh you're meant to hide, you're meant to hide, you're meant to be stealthy, but then they're bragging about detection and you can be caught and stuff like that. Obviously, like that. What I mean by that is like you can't hide. You'd be caught no matter what. Think back to Friday the 13th. Like yes, in the first few minutes, you probably wouldn't come up on Jason's sensibility, but we all know by when he gets his raid, he'll find you no matter what. You cannot hide. So this is what fucks me off of these games. They keep bragging and telling people, the victims or whoever, you gotta hide, be stealthy. But how can you when you give the killer's ability to sense you? It makes no sense. Like you could argue, yes, only be detected if you um, make huge noise and run around. But they detect you no matter what because you know why? Because the killer mains they keep complaining, oh, the victims need to be slower, they need to be stealthy and stuff like that. But then when they victims do that and they hide, and then the family complain, oh, I can't find the victims, it's too boring and this and that. You can't. How do you do that? You can't have it both ways. You can't tell the victim to stop, um, stop making noise and stop and be stealthy and hide, and then moan when they do hide. And this is the fucking problem. That like it's just bullshit. Like you tell them to hide, and then you give killers sensibility and stuff like that to find them no matter what. It's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. Like think back to TCM as well. Like you can get like you'll get caught no matter what as well. Like it's just silly. It really fucks me off. It's just bullshit, and that's one of the issues that this game's going to continue with the bullshit. Like the bullshit game design. This whole what do they call it? this sort of Schrodinger's asym, where you got to be stealthy, but then you can't be stealthy because you'd be caught no matter what. But then, like, it's just, anyway.
rise, and ultimately execute their victims and anyone bold enough to interfere with their bloodthirsty ambitions. Killer Sense allows players to step behind the mask and stalk the residents of Haddonfield. When using this skill and entering the first-person perspective, Michael becomes aggressively
Uh,
aware of his surroundings and the proximity of potential prey. By focusing on targets with murderous intent, Michael builds varying levels of stalk, which aid him in identifying.
let's be real. There's gonna be a way you can cheese the hell out of this. You know, I remember in DBD where like this very very similar ability for Myers was a thing. I think they removed him now from DBD for this game. I'm not too sure, but when he was in DBD, like this was his ability. Like you could sense and like you could focus in on on a survivor like this. But the thing is, it didn't work the way they intended. Like there's going to be ways you can cheese this. You know what I mean? Where, like maybe you can uh, walk backwards or something like that, or you can if you look at it at a very very specific angle, you can exploit that and you can sense them whilst chasing them and stuff like that. Like the thing is, I can already see flaws and loopholes in this game. Again, like with the stealth thing, like you can't really be stealthy; you'd be caught. You like and like this with the sense and the sensibility here. You'll probably get stalked no matter what. You know what I mean? That there's probably ways they can cheese it. Anyway,
Identifying and
continue.
tracking targets, and open increasingly satisfying options.
Hang on, see, look there as well.
Him in identifying and tracking targets, and
Look how far that. Let's show it. Oh, I'll leave it there. But hang on.
Michael builds varying levels of stock, which aid him in
Look how.
identifying and
Hang on.
tracking targets.
Look how far that aura goes. That red aura reading. Look how far that goes. And it's the same pit again. How does that goes against stealth? How are you meant to hide and evade him during the chase when he fucking sees you plain as day there, all red? It makes no sense. This is the thing. It's supposedly balanced around. Well, I don't know about that, but it's supposedly designed around being stealth. But you can't be stealthy. It's completely ludicrous and bullshit. And these are why these devs are so fucking retarded. Like the main idea of the game doesn't. The main idea, like being stealthy and whatnot, and whatever. It doesn't facilitate that. I don't. It's just so brain dead. Anyway,
Targets and
all that does, by the way, as well, it should promote being aggressive even more. Because like, if you can't be stealthy, what's the point? You might as well just be aggressive to um, get some distance, or try and hit Myers to try and I don't know, kill him. I think you can kill him, but you know what I mean. The point is, you want to be stealthy, but how the fuck is that promoting stealth? If you just highlight them and whatnot, and you can sense them no matter what. Don't get me started.
open increasingly satisfying options.
Also, what the hell is that? You just like you can just like look at this. You can just like just imagine that in the midst of like a heated match, and you just casually you just like casually like scroll through the buttons, like when you could just break free at any moment. Actually, I don't think they can break free, which again, another family sided thing that decided. Why do I keep calling it family side? Killer sided thing to do. But I'm just being presumptuous there. I don't know how that works. Anyway, I'm just saying how funny that looks. Like you just like it's just so you're in the middle of like about to kill someone in a heated like part of the match, and then just like just scroll through some buttons like that. Anyway,
For executions. An effective killer always keeps their victims unaware of their presence until those final fatal moments. While
We know that's not going. We know for damn sure that's not going to be how it works out. You know, especially if the victim team are in a pre-made squad, they're going to be coming the fuck out of everyone's location. He's not going to be able to sneak up on people. This is the issue again. Like, it's just not stealthy. It's just not. That's for both sides, to be fair. Not just the victim, but for Mars as well. And that's fine, but then don't try and pretend it is a stealth game. That's how it should be played. When it doesn't facilitate that, you know what I mean? If you have people allowing to talk to people on comms, like the acting like Discord isn't a thing, where people just chat freely outside the game to tell people what Myers is doing, where he is, it's just like, how are you meant to be stealthy then? Okay.
While historically Michael Myers isn't known for his speed, fundamental abilities like shape jump amplify the shape's mobility with haunting
There we are.
In shape jump, Michael slips into the shadows to move around environments unseen. Not only does this increase Michael's base movement speed,
So that's balanced, right? Again, if you want to be stealthy, take it slow. What's the point? You can just shift and insta grab and kill you. Why be stealthy? You be slow. If you can, I don't know. See, I can already just point out all the flaws. Like, what the hell? Anyway,
can also
there's one part that I think we're getting to it now. There's one part of the video which really just shows it's just gonna be dog shit.
provides the
But
fastest
where
and
is it?
powerful traversal options, including shape dash, which sends Michael lunging forward with violent momentum. Shape jump is confidently one of the most powerful tools at Michael's disposal and supplies unlimited possibilities for iconic jump scare moments. However, that potency comes with a few major caveats. Our masked antagonist can only enter and exit shape jump while in the cover of darkness or outside a resident's line of sight. The light may
Outside of residence line of sight. Again, that'll probably be prone to abuse, I imagine. Like how line of sight actually works. Again, I remember from DBD. Like the fact, I remember DBD. Like if you want to break, like how it just described here, if you want to break Myers out of his stalking mode, the survivors have to look into Myers for like 3 seconds uninterrupted. Like you have to look back at Myers to break him out of his stalk. But the problem is, like Myers can then just like use the walls and obstacles to kind of manipulate and exploit that line of sight. He so whilst you, so basically whilst the victims are actually seeing looking at Myers, the game doesn't register that because Myers is looking at is hiding behind very particular. It's hiding behind certain obstructions, which just breaks the immersion. So, like, you basically what I'm saying is you're looking at Myers, but the game doesn't register it because Myers is exploiting certain stuff. Or I'm talking about DBD, but it'd be the same thing here. Again, talk about line. I'm telling you, this is going to be riddled with fucking cheese and exploits. I'm telling you now, this whole line of sight, this whole store, this whole business, it just won't work the way it'll just be riddled with flaws, and people exploit and cheese the hell out of it. Like they're going to be hiding behind walls in a certain way to kind of like manipulate the line of sight and sense. It's just going to be a whole mess.
provide a
Anyway,
temporary reprieve for the residents of Haddonfield, but Michael can work to remove sources of illumination by shutting off lights, cutting power, and even catalyzing temporary blackouts. Despite the unquestionable malevolence of Michael Myers, his horrifying homecoming to Haddonfield won't be welcomed without resistance. As the body count climbs and evidence of the boogeyman's presence becomes undeniable, local authorities, residents, and distinct playable civilians may decide to gather weapons and face off against evil itself. Thankfully, Michael knows his way around.
oh, I've seen a lot of killer mains absolutely cry when they heard that. God forbid people defend themselves. Oh my god. Anyway,
And will have multiple options for melee combat encounters. And if especially persistent Haddonfieldites do manage to get the upper hand in an exchange, don't worry.
See, that's the issue. See, look at the auto aim there. That's insane.
Sharp objects, and we'll have
And this is going to lead to an issue I want to talk about with
multiple
this. That
options
from
for
what I've
melee
noticed with
combat
this
encounters.
trailer.
And if especially persistent Haddonfieldites do manage for melee combat
Let me
encounters.
look at that again.
And if especially persistent
Look how crap that fucking combat is. That's the thing. Like, this is what I wanted to talk about. Like, this wasn't the clip. I think I don't know if it is in this trailer. I don't know, but this is the issue. Like, it looks like really it looks really scripted. I don't know how to describe it, but look how crap that combat was just then. I'll play it again.
will have
Actually,
multiple options for
look how
melee
terrible
combat
that
encounters.
combat is.
And if
Look how crap the aiming was there. This is the issue. It looked. I think from what I've seen from a few clips, I hope I can find. I hope this one clip I have in mind comes up. But what I've noticed from a good few of these clips is there's there's little skill agency and skill expression involved in terms of the combat and evading the killer. Like, it doesn't seem like you can really juke in this game, and you can't really. And it seems like it's just auto aim and auto lock rather than being able to manually dodge yourself as a killer or a victim. It just seems like with this one, like they're just like they basically heard all the shit players complaining, and they basically made it quite automated in terms of like how you can dodge. Well, you can't dodge something really. You know what I mean? Or how you hit someone. It's just auto aim now. It's done in a certain way. It's sort of scripted, right? In the way you do things. There's less agency of the player. The game kind of just does it himself. You know what I mean? It has its own mechanisms in place, like the auto aim and stuff like that. So you can only do combat in a certain way. The way the game tells you to do it, rather than having your own agency, like in Friday the 13th. If you want to use block or to juke or to slide or something like that, or to loop, do a 360 like in DBD, do a 360 around the killer, or in TCM or something like that. It doesn't seem like that's going to be in the game. It seems going to be quite scripted, and it's taken a lot to a lot of the agency out of the players, and it seems like it's not going to be a lot of skill expression. Like it's because lot of whingy players from are just moaning about the games. Like, oh my god, a victim was actually good. He managed to dodge my attack. He managed to loot me. How dare the victim do that? The game must bend over, and that's what it's looked like. What's going to happen? The awful combat situation here. It looks like it looks quite predictable, right? Like there's not much the player can do themselves. You know what I mean?
and if
Anyway, let's just
especially
continue.
persistent Haddonfieldites do manage to get the upper hand in an
I
exchange,
probably explained that
don't
really
worry.
badly though. But yeah.
We've said it once, we'll say it again. You can't kill the boogeyman. While Michael swiftly endeavors to turn Haddonfield into a graveyard, our heroic group of civilian characters desperately attempts to save their neighbors and escape the boogeyman's bloodthirst. As a civilian, it's up to you to find fellow
Let me have a
the
look at that
boogeyman's
again.
bloodthirst. As a
Okay.
civilian, it's up to you to find fellow Haddonfield residents, convince them of his malicious intent.
And that's the next thing. The other way they're going to take away skill agency, skill expression, and a skill gap in this game. They're basically introducing NPCs, and obviously NPCs. Obviously the player can't do anything about that because they're NPCs, right? They're controlled by AI and how the developers want them to work. This is people like it's not going to be skillful like in the other games. Even though some people argue like Friday the 13th doesn't have a high skill gap, blah 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 blah. But compared to that, this game's going to be very automated and systematic in the way the mechanics operate. Like like I said, the combat, all this, like there's NPCs now. There's literal AI. Like so, and obviously you can't. control how the AI works. It's just how the devs program them to work. So again, it's just a way of taking away the agency and the skill away from the players to work in a very systematic way. Probably again to appease the family, the killer players who just whinge all the time rather than just getting better. Like that last game, my last stream, one of the TCM matches. You know what I mean? Like they failed to patrol, so then they DC when someone escapes. It's their own fault. You know what I mean? They just take. Now that this is the result, they're just taking away any skill expression away from the players. Like the players can't do much themselves. It's just at the game's mercy. Like the game, like it's just predictable and just like, ugh. Anyway,
and guide them safely to one of several possible randomized escapes located around the map before they meet an untimely end. This distinctive cast of playable civilian characters each comes equipped with unique stats, special traits, and signature personalities. To ensure no two matches of Halloween play out the same, our team has constructed a vast playground of possibilities in Haddonfield, offering civilians a multitude of diverse gameplay systems to aid them in achieving their objectives and surviving the night. As civilians navigate these environments, they'll uncover points of
right.
interest.
See another thing, the RNG there. I know there's gonna be a lot. I'm telling you as well. After the first few, let me rewind on that. Here we are. So I can tell you now, after the first few weeks when this game comes out, it's going to become competitive. All of these games end up in the same way. They just become competitive. People try hard, and this RNG is what's going to piss people off. I guarantee it. They're going, oh, I've got a shit card, whatever. It looks like some sort of card. I got a shit card, so I'm at a disadvantage. So then I won't be able to do well in the game, and that's going to piss a lot of people off. I guarantee it. Again, I don't know how the perk system, if there is one, or how any of that's going to work. But I'm telling you, it seems a nice idea, but when it becomes competitive, people are going to be fucking angry about it. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. But I don't think this will do much, to be honest. This little card here. Silver Tongue, Wound Mender, Iron Ankles. So yeah, I assume that obviously the Wound Mender probably does something to do with healing, and Iron Ankles probably you probably stumble less, or like you, I don't know.
And
Anyway,
surviving the night. As civilians navigate these environments, they'll uncover points of interest, revealing resident NPCs, lootable containers, hiding places, telephones, possible escape routes, and more. Thoroughly and cautiously exploring your surroundings could very well mean that
also, a lot of people saying this is like Friday the 13th. I actually think this is more like Killer Clowns, in my opinion. Um, I mean, I can see it, but I don't know. That's the vibe I get more like a Killer Clowns type thing. I don't know. Um, I don't know. I do see it though, but I don't know. I think it's in the middle. I think it's between Friday the 13th and Killer Clowns. But yeah, to say it's like Friday the 13th, I'm not strictly sure that's true. Obviously, there's similarities, but I don't think it's going to play like Friday the 13th. But people said Killer Clowns play like the Friday the 13th. I don't know what I don't know what planet those people living on. But yeah. Anyway. And that's the thing as well. I don't know what all these games are just trying to somehow emulate Friday the 13th. Like every like every single time. Like it's just funny to me. Like yeah, particularly with Illfonic, like with Killer Clowns and now this. It's like trying to replicate Friday the 13th again and again. It won't work. Spoiler alert, this game won't survive and it won't work. But yeah.
between life and death. And when death comes to your little town, the
See,
difference
look at
begins.
this. Like, how dumb it see, this is again the thing about the skill expression. Look how retardedly easy this sort of uh that that button mashing, not button mashing, that button pressing is. Oh, you got to press the right key and then the up key and then the up key again to release yourself. Wow, that's so hard. This is the thing. They're taking away skill expression away from the players. Like, they're making everyone into noobs. It's they're treating everyone like noobs. They're basically playing towards the lowest common denominator when designing this game. It's awful. This game's going to die because people are going to say, I can't do much. Because it's too automated. The game is too, like, predictable. It's too, you know what I mean? What the...
life and death.
That is probably a bit of a nitpick, to be fair, because obviously Friday the 13th, the pocket knife, it's the say it's the relief. You don't have to do any button mashing, but even then, like it's like I don't know, it's like they're
When you're
trying to
traveling
give the
through your local
player
town,
something,
it's
but
probably
it's
not a bad
nothing
idea to head
really.
to your neighbors and
Like
call
how
out
hard
your
is it
local
to click
authorities.
three buttons
Civilians
like
are
that?
tasked with
Anyway,
tracking down surviving residents.
again, it's the same three buttons. Like obviously it gives them something players something to do, but fundamentally, it doesn't give them any agency. It doesn't increase. It doesn't add any skill. It's because it's just picking buttons. I don't know.
And warning them of the looming threat. Successful conversations with residents can permit civilians to request additional calls to police, commands to find secure hiding places, or
Let
companions
me hear
to
that
request
again.
additional calls to police, commands to find secure hiding places, or companionship as they request additional calls to police,
So again, so if I heard that right, so it's hang on now. I'm not going to talk.
commands
Hang
to
on.
find
I
secure
think I might
hiding
have got that
places,
wrong.
or companionship as they navigate the formerly peaceful streets of Haddonfield.
Should we stick together? Maybe work better as a team.
Whether it's a local family friend or the authorities, there's safety in numbers. Once the innocent residents of Haddonfield have been located and persuaded, it's time for the civilians to plan their harrowing escape. Lootable containers scattered throughout the map contain weapons, distractions, and key items that can be used to unlock and access a variety of possible escape routes. The location of these items and escapes changes from match to match.
See, that's the thing. That's why I feel like it's more like Killer Clowns, because basically Killer Clowns, everything was just scattered in the most random like spots and like the like drawers and shit. Friday the 13th, you had like gas cans and batteries in very predictable locations. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Again, I say there are similarities, but I don't think it's going to play like Friday the 13th. Personally, the similarities, but I don't think it's going to be playing like it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong
Civilians
though.
greatly benefit from adjusting their strategies based on the
See, like
ongoing difficulty.
everything's in
It's
random
also worth noting
drawers.
that
Again, RNG. Like, there's no skill in that. You know what I mean? You can't even like memorize locations. Like if I, again, like with Friday the 13th, if you played enough, you had the advantage of map knowledge and knowing where the gas cans often spawn and the batteries. But it looks like with this game, everything is going to be in like random drawers, and there's going to be like 1,000 drawers on the map to search. It takes away again. It's just adding RNG and taking away skill expression. Like again, I know they're going to say it's not a competitive game, but it fundamentally is. All these games work the same way. All what's going to happen is if you're just going to if you're going to take away again, I keep saying this, but if you're going to take away any agency away from the players after the first few weeks, people are going to get fed up. You know what I mean? That's why Killer Clowns died because there's not really much you could do with that game. Well, not the only reason, but like you couldn't do a whole lot on Killer Clowns really as a player. Like I don't know.
initiating these
I'm
escape
probably waffling a
sequences
bit there, but
generates a
oh well.
tremendous amount of noise.
See, there we go again.
It's worth noting that initiating
Oh no, I think that's actually no, I think that's playing a radio. I think that's like radio, like someone's playing like a boombox or
these
something.
escape sequences generates a
No, that's someone running. I think. I don't know. I don't know. Again, stealth. Like I don't know. I mean, to fair, you probably could argue there, like don't run. But this is the other thing that fucks me off. If people can't run in these games at any point, or as it gives them away, what do you expect them to do? Do you expect them to crouch walk everywhere? That is absolutely retarded. It's like with TCM. Like, I'm sorry, but Cook's ability, his hearing ability, is bullshit because what do you expect to do in that game? If you have a cook, do they expect the victim to crouch walk everywhere the whole game? That's absolutely nonsensical. If you crouch walk, again, that just makes the game entirely so tedious and boring. This if they have the wrong idea about what stealth actually is. It just think people just think it's just crouch walking everywhere. It's not. It's just retarded. So again, if you try and have any fun in this game, if you dare run at any point, you just get caught. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm being a bit too harsh, but I've seen it with Killer Clowns too. Like Killer Clowns, you dare run anywhere, you get high, you get like you get those circles, right? The audio circles, and then all the clowns can find you, and then they can tunnel you till you die. So again, unless you crouch walk the whole game, you like who. Like this is the thing. Like I think the only people advocate for that are killer mains. I'm sorry, because if you play victim, you're not going to want to crouch walk everywhere. I don't know. Like again, it's so so backwards.
Tremendous amount of noise, which will alert Michael to your exact location. So, what happens in the likely event that a civilian becomes another display of Michael's wretched, inhumane nature? Well, their Haddonfield story isn't over just yet. Even in death, they can support their friends and even return as a sheriff's deputy or the unrelenting Dr. Loomis. Once they've re-emerged upon the streets of Haddonfield, they can cooperate with the remaining civilians and responding officers to try and put a stop to Michael's murderous rampage.
Freeze where you are, Michael. You're coming with me.
While he can't be killed, with enough community resistance, the proper equipment, and sheer manpower, he can be detained and shipped back to Smith's Grove Sanitarium. Halloween is a legendary film with a genre-defining legacy, and our mission has been to bring the film's unseen layers of dread to our asymmetrical horror sandbox. By empowering players to control the tension and stage the scares, we're building a multiplayer.
See, look at that. That was see again. Like, look at the aim. That was aim assist, right? So again, you can't dodge the killer, unlike Friday the 13th and TCM, arguably. I don't know. Like it's just again, it's just going to be basically automated. Like the combat is going to be scripted. Like you can't dodge, you can't do anything. You know what I mean? It's like it's predictable, right? Like killer just like Mars just presses the button and it auto aims and hits them, no matter what skill you're at. You know, it's all ridiculous, man. It really is. That's probably the only skill in that game is going to be aiming the gun. That's probably like the only gun in the game and the only character who can use it. That's going to be the only time you can be skillful in that game or like have any sort of agency. Anything else, it's auto lock or it's just predict. You know what I mean? There's not much you can do about it. That's funny.
At the forefront. We'll have more details to share regarding character progression, character traits, customization, proximity chat, and more features in the coming months.
I forgot proximity chat was returning. But yeah. The thing is, proximity chat don't matter because people play again in Discord chats. People play in pre-made stacks. So yeah, it's not like Friday the 13th. That era's gone. Like, obviously, in Friday the 13th, proximity chat was fun. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to say, oh, it doesn't hurt to have it. Obviously, I'm not saying it's a negative thing, but I'm saying it's not going to mean much, the proximity chat. Because, again, people just sweat laws now. I think ever since TCM, people just absolute sweats in the asim genre. Yeah, it's not like Friday the 13th and the early DBD days. It's very competitive now, which is why I say anyone who's deluded to think this will be like a casual game that won't turn sweaty as fuck in the first few weeks is absolutely in the skies. Like it's absolutely going to turn competitive. Absolutely. Well, not necessarily like tournaments, but people are going to try hard. But there probably might be tournaments too. I don't know. But people are going to try hard after the first few weeks. Not much you can do about it. Anyway, that's a, probably a very harsh nitpick. I don't have an issue with proximity chat. I'm just saying that's how it's going to go. But I'm very interested. I think the only thing at this point that would perhaps I don't know intrigue me is the customization and how much you can design not design your character not perks basically and stuff like that unlockables. I think TCM did it pretty well, in my opinion. I think that's the one thing I will give that game credit for. Again, some people hate the fact there were perks and attributes points in that game, and efficiency and savagery and whatnot. But I'm telling you, if you just kept TCM like in the beta, where not you had no perk, I don't think there were, but say if you had no perks, no attribute points, the game would have died in weeks. Well, probably not weeks, but it would have died a lot sooner than it did because there's nothing you could do, no customization, anything like that. You need an extensive progression and customization system. Well, most multiplayer games really. Um, but yeah, this game, if that's all it has is that gameplay and nothing to really work towards, and nothing to customize, and to further progress your characters, it's not looking good. Is what I'm saying. But I'm interested to see what that's going to look like. But I'm sure they're going to start adding perks. People's going to whinge. But yeah. Uh, anyway, that's probably another nitpick. But yeah, where's that? Where that clip was here? Have I? Did I go past it somewhere? I think it was to do with the shifting.
Unpredictable results. Always
Uh,
victims unaware of their
Maybe
presence
it's a
until
different
those
trailer.
fatal. While historically Michael Myers isn't known for his speed, fundamental abilities like shape jump amplify the shape's mobility with hauntingly unpredictable results. In shape jump, Michael slips into the shadows to move around environments unseen. Not only does this increase Michael's base movement speed, but it also provides access to other people's
Where was it?
which sends Michael lunging forward with violent momentum. Shape jump is
See,
confidently
that was it. It was basically roughly to this effect. It wasn't this exact clip, but it's the same sort of idea. Let me play it again. Watch this.
with violent momentum.
That was what effectively wanted to play. Again, even his fucking shift ability is just there's no skill expression or agency there. The survivors can't turn. Like I remember Friday the 13th. What made shift so interesting was that yes, it's powerful, um, but it's hard to use, and that should be intentional. You know, it can be like the survivors can juke. I think this is a prime example of what I'm saying. In Friday the 13th, with the shift ability, where it can it can move around invisible, right? The survivors can juke if they're good enough, right? And it's quite awkward to maneuver, but that should be intentional because if you shift, you can grab them instantly and kill them. So it's a high risk. It's powerful. It's a powerful ability, but the survivors can counter it, right? But it's hard to use, right? It might be hard to pull off a grab, but it's fucking when you do get the grab, it's powerful. But look at this. Compare it to this shit. He turns like he's slow as fuck, so you can't avoid being shift grabbed in this game by the looks of it. Look how slow it was. I'll play again. Yes, he can dash, but look at this. Not only like if he wants to do it slow, he can be as slow as a snail. So he can't get duped. No matter he can't get duped in any way. So he can just shift grab as he pleases with no difficulty. Again, the survivors can't do jack shit about that. They can't juke. There's no agent. There's no skill involved. You know, it's not like Friday 13 where it's awkward to turn and to maneuver your shift. Well, look at this. What the fuck? I'm really, I think that shows actually just how bad that game's going to be, and I don't think many people have picked up on this. I might be a bit nitpicky, but I really think I'm right with a lot of stuff here. I think this is really sad. I think it's clear they're just bending over to the lowest common denominator, and personally, it seems they are bending over to like the vocal minority of killer mains. From what I've seen, a lot of the skill expression they've taken away in this game. It seems to benefit Myers, which is just retarded. It should be skill on both sides, really. So yeah, you can't juke. It doesn't look like you juke a shift anymore. You can't do anything about it. Again, if you try to be stealthy, the ways you can detect you. You know, you've got NPCs in the game now, which dictate how if you win the game. Like you can't control the NPCs. Obviously, you can, to an extent you can, but it's not like you need NPCs for your survival. You know what I mean? Whereas with other vertics, you can just survive by yourself and stuff like that. It's just a whole mess. It really is. There's just fundamental. It's just no. It's just lackluster. I don't know. It's just nothing there. There's nothing you can. It just seems. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. But I don't know why people are creaming themselves over this, and also the animations do look a bit weird. I mean, it's 2026. It's a bit sad how games are still like, well, to this effect, are still like a bit. But to be fair, I'm not. To be fair, personally, I don't give too many craps about animations or graphics. I'm not really a graphics guy, so I'm not going to hold that against them. To be fair, it has its charm. You know, Friday the 13th has weird animations, but it was his charm, right? Maybe it'd be the same here. So I'm not going to hold that against them. Like I'll be lenient in that respect. But I mean, I think the gameplay is king, and the gameplay here is shocking. That's the thing I want to drive home here. Like it's just abysmal. Like there's no skill expression, no skill agency, no skill gap. It's just bending over to the lowest common denominator to appease the killers, most I don't know, and newbie players who just whinge online anytime their opponents outplay them. There's no outplaying in this game because its mechanics are designed to just be automated. Like there's not much you can do to counteract stuff. It's a very predictable system of chain of events, rather than you can duke the killer, or or you can um, dodge attacks and stuff like that. Again, like they look like the Mars has auto aim if he swings his weapon, so you can't juke it. Again, like this shift here, it's so slow on purpose, so you can't juke him. So because it's shambolic. I think this was a pretty bad trailer. I think. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe obviously they can change it, but I don't think much will be changed. But yeah, I mean, as it stands, I'm not going to buy the game. I think after everything not TCM, Gun Media have done, it's just horrible. And a lot of people say, "Oh, why is Illfonic making the game?" Um, not that they had the ups and downs as well, Friday the 13th and otherwise. But again, you always got a question: why did they bring Gun Media into the project in any capacity anyway? That's where you got a question. So. Uh, I don't know. I just think it's really weird. Like, I just remember when TCM was sunsetted. A lot of people said, "Oh, don't you dare buy the new game. I'm not going to give any more money. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you," or something like that. But now they're doing it a third time. I can't fathom. Again, it's probably the same people. The same people just like just buying this game nilly willy, who are then fucking complaining, which made them to make the choices as we can see now with the gameplay. Like you make it just there's no skill involved. There's no agency. There's no player agency because it's just retarded people playing the game. I don't know. But yeah, I don't see this game succeeding. I really don't. Again, we have to see what the progression system is because I think a lot of things with these. I think uh, people love grinding, right? People love customization, unlocking things. They love unlocking perks which help them out. They can see themselves. I don't know, gaining an advantage and stuff like that with the perk. I don't know, but it'd be interesting to see what that's going to look like. But again, I mean, Friday the 13th had the progression system, but its perk system was dog shit. And don't get me started on killer clowns. So I hold my breath on that. But it's just the gameplay. I'm not going to nitpick the animation, the graphics. Really, I actually think it looks alright. Overall, especially the graphics. But The game, it's a gameplay. Gameplay first and foremost. It looks shit. I'm sorry. I don't know. But I'm going to leave it there. And that's why the game will die, essentially. Well, the main reason. Um, but yeah. But yeah, I'm going to leave that here anyway. So yeah, I'll see you